Hey, this is Tuhon Aditya from LightHaven. Today we're going to go over a slightly different slightly rarer sort of footwork variation. It's your W footwork. Now, you see this pattern used in slightly different ways from the way I'm going to show it right now. However, this is a pattern that I have used in sparring, in fighting, and I do think there is a lot of merit to it. It is based off of my reverse 45 degree and my open triangle footwork. I'm also going to be showing you a double stick drill that you can do along with this footwork. You can do this double stick drill with just normal sticks, or you can do it the way that I do when I train, which is with weighted metal pipes. And yeah, it's a great drill to coordinate your footwork. It's a great and your striking. It's a great drill to practice your open triangle. It's a great drill to sort of have a slightly different variation to your normal angles of stepping, and a slightly different perspective to striking and getting out, especially getting out of the way of an on-rushing opponent. Before we begin though, it would mean a lot if you would subscribe to the channel. At the end of the video, if you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. If you have anything to add to the discussion, if you've seen a variation of this footwork before, or if you practice this footwork, leave that in the comments down below. If you have any questions or any requests for future videos, please also leave that in the comments down below. We try and reply to every single comment and try and try and fulfill every single request. It might take us a while, but we do get to it. All of these things really do help out the school and the channel a lot. Our residential program is also up and running, so if you want to come down to Goa, live with us, train with us, check the link I'm going to leave down below. So this is my footwork. It's sort of like an inverted W or a double close triangle. Now, oftentimes when you see this footwork done, it's done in what we call laddering footwork or ladder footwork, which you start on any one side and you're going to enter, exit, and do it the other way as well. Enter, exit, right? That's probably the most common way that you see. Anytime you see this sort of pattern laid out, generally when we are doing laddering footwork, then it's a longer pattern that we lay out with sticks, and this is the pattern that we do. We also add in single stick or double stick strikes with it, but this is the most common way that you see this pattern express itself in footwork. What I want to show you today is slightly different. This is a combination of my ranging footwork and my reverse triangle footwork. Before you do this, it would help a lot if you were comfortable with at least your open triangle version of ranging footwork and reverse 45 degree footwork. I'm going to leave links to both of those videos down below, so I would suggest checking those out before you come to that. We're going to begin from the center of this formation. So this is home, where these two sticks meet. Here, this is going to be home to me, and I always want to come back here. This is going to be where I begin from, where I end from. So essentially, my open triangle footwork is I'm stepping, which if I'm stepping to the right side, I'm going to step with my right leg. If I'm going to step to the left side, I'm going to step with my left leg. Essentially, I'm trying to get my head off center line. So I have enough of a bend that my head is getting off this center line. Not too much bend, not too little bend, and I want to be somewhere 50-50, around about 50-50, as long as I can get my head off center line. If you're finding your sticks are too small for you to take a big enough step to get your head off center line, start from a little bit further back and take a bigger step so that your head gets off center line. That's my open triangle footwork. My reverse 45 degree footwork is essentially when I'm going backwards. If I'm doing my close triangle footwork and I'm stepping back 45 degrees at a 45 degree angle, I want to hit that same angle, but I want to have it in sort of reversed way. So instead of stepping right side right leg and left side left leg, I want to step right side with my left leg. So I'm still hitting that close triangle 45 degree angle, but I'm using my left leg to go to my right side, and I'm going to be throwing my right leg to go to my left side. I'm also pivoting on my lead leg. So I don't want to end up like this, where one leg is facing there and one leg is facing somewhere else. I want to pivot. If this is center line, I want to be reverse 45 degrees. I want to be 45 degrees in relation to center line. So I still want to face here. I'm not facing there or there or there. I'm facing center line. Now the way we're going to do our footwork is I'm going to step off into my open triangle footwork. From here, I'm going to throw this leg. Now it's important that you throw this leg. because when we add a double stick in here, it's going to be very important that you throw this leg in order to generate power for that strike. So I'm going to literally throw this leg at the back and pivot on this front leg. From here I'm going to step back home, bring the other leg in, step the other direction, left side left leg, and now throw this leg and pivot on my lead leg. Come back home, step in, step out, throw and pivot. Step in, both legs in here, open triangle, throw this leg backwards and pivot on that front leg. When you are pivoting, you should be pivoting on the ball of the foot, not the heel of the foot. You want to be pivoting on the ball of that foot, right? Make sure that you pivot on that ball of the foot, and you want to pivot enough so that both feet are more or less parallel. My feet should end up parallel at the end of it, and they shouldn't end up facing in different directions. So once again, just get some reps in. I'm going to step, open triangle, throw the leg, pivot, come back home, step, pivot, come back home, step and pivot. You can also add a shuffle step, sort of shuffle change in here. So from here, as I pivot, I step, I can shuffle switch. Instead of step and step, shuffle switch, then through the leg, shuffle switch, then through the leg, shuffle switch. When I say shuffle switch, I mean shuffle switch into the open triangle in this sort of a footwork. So I'm not looking to step and step in this sort of staccato fashion. I'm looking to pull this leg out and take this leg out at the same time. As a result of the pulling, the leg goes out, so it becomes a sort of shuffle. Let's add our double stick into it now. We're going to go, one hand's going to be on my shoulder load, one hand's going to be in my medium load. One thing to remember is, don't keep this elbow in here because you can smack your own elbow. Have a nice comfortable load that gives me space for my bottom stick to move and gives me space and the ability to hit with my top stick without too much of a telegraphy. So I don't like this, but I also don't like this sort of really tight elbow position because you're going to get hit. So you're going to have one hand on your shoulder load, one hand on your medium load. What you're going to do is, with the open triangle, that top hand, the bottom hand is going to strike with that open triangle. As I step open triangle, I'm going to strike with that bottom hand. It's going to be that reverse diagonal strike from medium load up to your shoulder load. As I step, I strike. Now with the pivot, as I throw this with the pivot of my front leg, that top hand, that right hand is going to strike. If I'm stepping to my right side, first with my right leg, my left hand strikes. As I throw my left leg into that reverse 45-degree footwork, my right hand is going to go angle one and step back. I am using the throwing of this leg at the back and the pivot of the front leg and the turn of the hip to generate power into this hand. So I hit, as I turn, that's what's generating the power in this hand. From here, I'm going to step back home. Again, as I step with my left leg now, my right hand's going to strike up. As I'm going to throw this leg and pivot on this leg, my left hand strikes. I come, step, hit, pivot and hit, step, hit, pivot and hit, step, hit, pivot and hit. From here, now the issue is that there are two empty steps without any striking that's happening on it. So you want to reduce that as much as possible. I want to be coordinating my hands and my legs, my striking and my footwork. So this is where that shuffle step sort of switch comes into it. Where from here, I'm hitting, pivoting, I step back. With the shuffle step, I'm going to hit, pivot, step, shuffle step and hit, pivot, step, shuffle step, hit, pivot. And so on and so forth. One thing that you want to, a couple of mistakes that you want to watch out for is, number one, make sure that your edge is facing the right direction. Do not slap. This is not a slap of the blade. You are cutting with the blade. So again, where these knuckles are is where the edge of the blade faces, right? So as I come up, I'm cutting. Similarly on this, as I come down, I'm cutting, I'm not slapping. So be very careful where the edge of the blade is facing in these movements. Coordinate your opposite hand on your opposite leg. Coordinate the throwing of this leg, the pivoting of this leg, the turning of the hip with this cut. The other thing is that you might have the tendency of doing this. Instead of stepping back with the left leg, so if my right leg steps first, my left leg is the one that's home. As my left leg is thrown and my right leg pivots, when I want to come back, my left leg is going to step back home first, then my right leg comes. You might have the tendency of doing the opposite of this. So if I've gone 1, 2, you might have the tendency of stepping with the right leg, then with the left leg, and you need an extra adjustment over here, which you don't want. You want to hit, and reverse the process. So if my right leg stepped first, then my left leg, now my left leg is going to step first, then my right leg step, hit with the shuffle step. Son, hitting with the shuffle step now. Hit with the shuffle step, hit with the pivot. Step, hit with the shuffle step, hit with the pivot. Step. And so on and so forth. From the side ones, step, hit, pivot, step, shuffle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, if you learned from what you saw, please do like and share this video. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you have anything to add to the discussion, please leave that in the comments down below. If you have any questions or requests for future videos, please also leave that in the comments down below. All of these things really do help out the school and the channel a lot. Like I said earlier, our residential program is up and running again. So if you want to come down to Goa, live with us, train with us, then check out the link I'm going to leave down below. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.